Well, good morning, my friend. It is Thursday morning. Welcome to the Pastor's Podcast. Good to have you along with me today as we continue on this week. And I'm looking forward to the weekend at Maranatha Baptist Church and seeing what God can do for us through the month of September. And I'm looking forward to a good day trying to get people into church. Had someone saved and baptized last night in our midweek service, and that's always a good thing to be able to see that happen, and kind of helps your week kind of go along, really kind of picks it up just a little bit. I always enjoy watching someone get saved and baptized, and that's an encouraging thing, to be quite honest with you, to me as a pastor. That way our church continues to go forward. That's what I desire, and I hope that's what you desire with your church as well. Well, today I want to talk to you about two words: spread abroad. In Genesis 28:14, the scripture says, and thy seed shall be as the dust of the earth. Thou shalt spread abroad to the west, and to the east, and to the north, and to the south. And in thee and in thy seed shall all the families of the earth be blessed. When God spoke to Jacob in his dream, God did not tell Jacob to go find a spot and just enjoy that small lot of land for the rest of his life. God is not a God of mediocrity, my friend, but God's a God who wants his children to do more continuously. Rather than telling Jacob to find a lot of land and to live there for the rest of his life, he told him, he said, spread abroad. And in spreading abroad, all the families of the earth, he says, shall be blessed. In other words, God promised Jacob to be a blessing to the whole world if he would spread abroad. Now, the believer should never be satisfied with doing nothing. There should always be desire in every believer for God to do something mighty through them. For God to tell Jacob to spread abroad, he was teaching us that he never wants the believer just to be satisfied with the status quo. You see, throughout the scriptures, you'll find that God sets a high standard for his children to attempt great things for him. Jesus said that his desire was that his house may be filled. God says that his eyes run to and fro throughout the whole earth to show himself strong on the behalf of them whose heart is perfect toward him. You see, God can do something mighty through you, but you are going to have to spread abroad for him to do it. You can't just stay there in the status quo. You've got to do something beyond that. It takes four things if God's going to bless you as you spread abroad. First, it takes a vision. I love that God told Jacob to look in every direction, because God is trying to get you to see a much bigger picture than what you see. When I began to pastor the Maranatha Baptist Church, I looked at our buildings and I shared my vision to fill them with the church. Now, I ask you, do you have a vision for God to do something mighty through you? God can't fill the vision that can't see beyond what you presently have. But he will fill the vision of faith that requires his power to accomplish it. You see, I'll get much further by having a vision of faith and fail than to see it and to see it fulfilled than by having no vision and live in mediocrity. I'd much rather fail at seeing the vision fulfilled, because I want to get at least further that way than if I say, well, I'm not going to attempt anything. Listen to me. People can criticize those who have a vision of faith and fail, but I promise you this, at least they got further than the lazy bum who sits there and never tries to build his church. Second, it takes faith. Faith is seeing beyond what can be seen. Faith is looking at what God can do in the future. Faith is stepping out on the impossible and trusting that God will come to the rescue when you come to the end of your abilities. If you want God to give you more than you have, my friend, you must have the faith that he is able to help you fill, a vision of faith that only he can fill. Third, it takes hard work. I don't care what anybody says. It's foolish to think that it doesn't take work to see a vision fulfilled. God wanted to give Israel the promised land, but they had to battle. They had to conquer and rebuild in order for their vision of faith to become reality. Can I just tell you this? God never honors a vision of faith that doesn't work hard to make it happen. In fact, if you have a true vision of faith, it's going to require hard work. Too many want faith without work, but work is a part of faith. Those who saw great works of faith accomplished in their lives were not afraid to work hard to see it happen. Fourth, it takes God's help. You will never spread abroad and be a blessing to the whole earth without God's help. At the end of the day, it still takes God's power to do a work of faith that impacts a world for Christ. You can have a vision of faith and work hard, but you will miserably fail without God's power. My friend, get a vision of faith. Work hard to see it become reality, but you don't do it without getting God's power. It's going to take God's power to make the vision of faith to become reality. Now, he said, spread abroad. When I came to Maranatha Baptist Church, we're in the Oklahoma City metro area. Church is, of course, in Bethany, but Bethany is surrounded by Oklahoma City. And I looked at my city and I said, I'm going to spread abroad. Oklahoma City is the second largest landmass city in the United States. We've got a large swath of land we've got to cover. I'm not going to just stay right here in my little neighborhood. I want to spread abroad as far as I can and see what our church can do. And can I challenge every person to do the same thing? Spread abroad. Get a vision of faith. See God do something, and then work hard as you can to see God do that work. Well, my friend, I hope this is a challenge to you today. Now, let's remember today, be good to everyone. Everyone's having a tough time. Have a great day, my friend.